Hi, Mayor.
Hey, Ron, how are you?
Good.
We are live on YouTube.
All
So
right. Hi, Barry.
hello, Barry, how are you?
Good, sir. How you doing?
Good.
Hey, Chief. How you doing?
Good.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, Ty. How you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Hi, Ty, how you doing?
Good, sir. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Mike.
sir.
How you doing?
Fantastic. Evening.
Can you hear me now?
Hello, everyone. How you doing, Mayor?
Evening.
Vernon, how are you?
Good.
Good. Here you are, how are you?
Yeah.
Good, how are you?
Yeah.
Is Darren with you?
Yep.
Okay.
Let me turn that down just a minute.
Hi, Karen.
How's everybody?
Evening.
Hi, Karen, how are you?
I'm well. This is the first public comment in this format, right?
Yes, yeah. Got
Have
tonight,
you ever done
tomorrow.
one? Have you
I'm
ever done
sorry?
one before? Have
What's that?
you ever done one before, a public comment?
Yes. Yeah, we do public hearings all the time, public comment. So we have, well, we had one in attendance, but they're not there now, so. I thought what we would do is give everybody 5 minutes to give comment. That, is here for the public comment. And we'll go for a while if we, now somebody's back on now for public comment. So if we don't have anybody here for public comment, then after a while here, then we'll end the comment and we'll go on to tomorrow night. So we got one right now that's in the attendance for, besides the panelist here. So this is a different format than we've been doing. We are all panelists, and the public comment will, it appears, I think you can see it over on the, probably on the right side of your screen. Right now, Dr. Gary Harvey is there. And so we'll give a few more minutes for the people to get on for this, and then we'll get going. So. Is everybody okay with the 5 minute?
That seems appropriate.
Okay. So Mickey, you've joined us. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Mickey.
Evening.
Okay. So we're here to take public comment on the plan, the final plan that we approved a week or so ago. It's been published. And we have one person in attendance right now. So it's 6:31. I'm gonna, okay. Dr. Harvey, if you can hear me, and if you want to give okay, he's raised his hand. So I am giving him, allowing him to talk. So Dr. Harvey, go ahead with your comments. You have 5 minutes.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I would like to say that I apologize. I was scrambling to find the link. The press release said to check the city site, and I didn't see it on the city site. And had I not checked the city's Facebook page, I wouldn't have found the Zoom link. So there may be people that are wanting to be involved that are uncertain as to where to see the link. So just to throw that out there. There may be some confusion as far as that's concerned. But with that being said, I would just like to say myself personally, in reference to the police reform and civilian review board, I'm definitely on board. I think the concept and idea and institution of a civilian review board is not only a positive idea, I think that it's a necessary. I think that just as the concept of body cams, giving protection to police officers and giving another protection to police officers, the thought process behind a civilian review board, thinking that it some way doesn't protect police officers, in my mind, is a misconception. It gives just as much protection as police officers as it does to civilians. It adds an extra layer of accountability. It adds an extra layer of protection. It gives an additional perspective to that. Now, you think of, individuals, if I'm the one that is filing the complaint against whoever, it doesn't even matter. You can use an example of a restaurant. If I'm filing a complaint at a restaurant and the restaurant comes back and the manager of the restaurant comes back and says, well, that's not a valid complaint, I'm already thinking you're siding with your employee because they work for you and with you every day. So I'm not, really taking any validity to your statement because of the relationship you have with your employee. If it's an outside entity making claim or making the statement in reference to, that complaint's not valid, then now there's a little more substance behind it as well. So there's that added layer of protection as well. Also, it does give that outside perspective. And I think that level of accountability is necessary. And I think it's important to point out, a couple weeks ago, on the actual committee meeting, one of the officers made statement to the effect of, hey, maybe somebody on the committee is not comfortable making their statement because they feel intimidated that what they say might not agree with the police department. Well, if that's already a thought process within the committee, the police reform committee themselves, then clearly we need an outside voice to take a look at some of these things. And that was an individual on the committee, and forgive me, I would have to go back and review the actual YouTube video of that particular meeting a few weeks ago to see exactly who that individual was. But I mean, we can all go back and look at that video. But if that was a uniformed officer making the statement that the individuals that agreed to be on the committee were intimidated to say something contrary to what the police department would feel, well, then clearly we need an outside perspective. I think that, the concept oftentimes is that if it's not a uniformed officer, then, we're against police officers. And that's not it at all. It adds a extra layer of protection. It adds an extra layer of accountability, not just for civilians, but for police officers as well. And I think that's oftentimes a misconception that, you throw a civilian review board in there and all of a sudden we're attacking police officers, and it's a level of protection for them as well. And I think if we can take a minute and we can look at it from that perspective and not feel as if, some type of reform is attacking police officers, then we can take a much more positive approach to the things that we do, and we can accept it. And if we can accept the fact that there are things that need to change, and there are ways that we need to grow, and there are ways that we can protect our civilian population and we can grow better. As a combat veteran, in all honesty, when I was in Iraq, I was held to a higher standard that police officers are held to in our country. When I was dealing with Iraqi soldiers, I was held to a higher standard and a higher code of ethics than what our police officers are held to in our country when dealing with our own citizens. And in my opinion, that shouldn't be the case. And the fact that when we attempt to put things in place to ensure that that code of ethics is held, there's pushback on that. And the fact that there's pushback in the fact that, we're attacking police officers, that's how it's viewed, that in itself tells me that there's a problem. And with that being said, when you put those safeguards in place, it removes that. To me, those safeguards should be welcomed. They should be looked at as an opportunity to continue to grow. And if you're truly serving the people, it should be welcome to get the people involved.
Okay, Dr. Harvey, you're at your time limit.
Thank
Could you give me your address, please? I failed to.
I apologize.
That's okay. That was on me.
408 East State Street, floor 2, here in Olean, New York.
Floor 2?
Floor 2, yes, sir.
All right. Okay, thank you very much for your comments.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. Okay, I'm just waiting for, we have 3 other people. Does anyone want to give comment? Raise your hand. Does anyone want to give comment? Please raise your hand. Well, we'll give them some, maybe they're collecting their thoughts. Maybe they'll raise their hand here in a minute, so. Okay, we do have, okay, we have, hello, please identify yourself, your name and your address.
Hi, my name is Victoria Sweer. I'm located at 326 South Union Street here in Olean.
Okay, go ahead, Victoria, and you have 5 minutes.
So I guess my thoughts and feelings on this are, and I'm not always the best with mincing my words, but I'll do my best. I don't see any reason whatsoever why we wouldn't do this. And it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, I guess, that there's been this much discussion and going back and forth about something that, just like Dr. Harvey said, is really and truly meant to help everybody. The title of it might be Civilian Review Board because the concerns are being brought from civilians, but that's not to say that it's solely working for civilians. It's working for the community overall and for everybody inside that community. You know, I've watched every single meeting that's come out, and it's been hours and hours and hours of going back and forth on this. If you want to go back and forth on anything, go back and forth on the logistics, but going back and forth just to decide whether or not this should be a thing is just, frankly, it's a waste of time. Yes, it should be a thing. Why is there any question? If there's something that can benefit people and something that can make people, especially minorities, feel safer, feel better, living in the very community they live in, why would you not do it? I remember over the summer when we were sitting in the John Ash Center and there was multiple people from all over the place that had come to Olean and were telling their personal stories about some of the things that they'd gone through since they moved here. And all I could sit back and think to myself was, gosh, you know, it would be a really great thing to have some sort of, and I kept calling it a task force, but what I was really thinking was, gee, it'd be really nice if we had something like a civilian review board, something so that if people, for whatever reason, felt like their concerns weren't being listened to, or they needed, you know, and I hate to use this term in a sense, but in a way, a safe space where they felt like they could go and talk to a neutral body, you know, just somebody that wasn't a police officer, somebody that wasn't, didn't have a rank or a title or anything like that, because that for a lot of people is honestly intimidating. If you were born in this country, a certain skin color, you are automatically more at risk for police brutality, for, you know, any sort of negative stereotyping that might happen. And because people are brought up that way from birth to sadly fear police officers, you know, even if you have the greatest police force in the world, which I'm very proud of the one that we have here in Olean, it still doesn't make it easy to come to you guys and talk to you. Like, as nice as you guys are, and I've had several incidences where I've dealt with you guys because you're always on my street, as wonderful as you guys all are, it doesn't necessarily mean it's always easy to come talk to you guys about an issue that's happening, especially if it's happening within your force. So this would just be a separate entity that people could come to and talk to if they felt they had something that needed to get brought up. And like I said, there's just no reason in my mind why this needs to be the discussion that it is. Let's pass it, let's get it through, and let's start talking about logistics. And like I said, we can have some meetings about that, but we just got to jump on the thing. Like, we just have to do it because honestly, it's very much like it was over the summer where it was meeting after meeting after meeting. And the whole time I just sit there thinking, this should be done already. We should be moving on with this. So let's get it passed and let's start doing something with it. Honestly, that's how I feel, 110%. So that's me.
Okay, thank you very much for your comments. We appreciate it. And we have Daniel Gayton next. Daniel?
Hello, how's everybody? Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
All right. I want to
Give
first
your address, please.
794 North Union Street, right here in
Okay.
Olean, right down the
Thank
street
you.
from Barry's Dojo. I first want to start off by saying I appreciate all the work that this committee has done. You know, for this committee to come together and put in as much work as they have in the limited amount of time that they had, it is a lot to be said by, you know, for this committee. I secondly want to, say I believe that our police force in Olean is a good force. I think that with Chief Richardson now at the helm, I think that people have a lot more confidence in the force than they did before Richardson got there. I will say, for the community review board, I think this is a needed step in the city. I think that when you start talking about a civilian or community review board, or however you guys want to phrase it, the terminology is all up in the air. It gives the community a place, a safe place, like the prior speaker had said, to be able to go and voice their concerns, and have a neutral party listen, and have a place where the city can be held accountable, the community can be held accountable if somebody keeps making false accusations. It protects both sides of the fence. I don't understand where a lot of the push and pull comes on this. I think that review board's got to have some teeth, though. It can't be a review board that just plays lip service and is a pass through. You got to give it some teeth. How much teeth? I think you guys can negotiate that back and forth and come up with a good plan for that. But I think it's got to have some sort of teeth, some sort of muscle behind it, because if it doesn't, then it just becomes another committee in the city that everybody's just passing things through, and ultimately it lands on one man's desk, is the mayor's desk, and the decision's the decision, and nothing ever changes, and you just wasted everybody's hour of their week meeting for no change. It's pretty obvious in this country that review boards are coming up in city after city after city. As you guys know, you guys reviewed, I'm assuming, tons of review boards, tons of different ways that cities are doing it, tons of legal issues that could come, and the ways that they were decided and all that stuff to try and come up with one that works for the city. So this isn't a new concept. We're not lighting the world on fire here, right? These things are already being done all over the country, and they've been proven to be legal. They've been proven to be successful. Nothing new is ever successful without a little bit of challenges here and there, but ultimately successful. And the ones that are most successful are the ones that hold some weight. The ones that are least successful are the ones that hold the least amount of weight. So keep that in mind as you move your conversations forward about how you want this thing to be structured. The less weight you give it, the less successful it's going to be, and that's just proven. And I'm a firm believer that there's there is a community review board that fits Olean. It may not fit the old way of doing business, and it may not fit what everybody wants, you know, from the old regime, but times are changing, and people are speaking up. People are having more say in their city than they ever had before, and it would be a very disheartening experience if the city of Olean didn't listen to them people. Because if you're not listening to the people of the city, then who are you listening to? Who are you really serving at that point, right? Are you serving the establishment, or are you serving the people? Because there's a big difference there. And you got to put all that to the side. You know, make no doubt, I think that what the community review board that you guys have talked about, bandied around a little bit, there's a lot of great pieces in there. Some of them make people a little bit uncomfortable because they're different, but different don't always mean bad. Sometimes different is exactly what you need. And I think with Richardson there's more of an openness to getting these things done. But we got to get it done. I don't understand, you know, the pull and tug on it. I can understand that, the legalities of it, the union legalities of it, and all that stuff. But if you put in place what's already been proven to be legal, then guess what? You should be legal. Olean's not an exemption from a legal ruling. A legal ruling is a legal ruling. So if one city has put in a control board and their policies have proven to be legal, guess what? If Olean puts in them same policies, guess what? They're legal too.
Okay, Danny, I've let you go over a little bit longer, but you had some good comments. So,
well, I just appreciate everybody's time. You know, that's my take on it. I appreciate your guys' work. I appreciate our police force. Chief Richardson, good to see you. And everybody have a good night.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your comments.
Appreciate it.
Okay, next we have a Craig. Please identify yourself and your name and address. Hang on. Go right ahead. Craig?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, please identify yourself.
Craig Close. I live at 1562 Olean Portville Road. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for listening to me. I had a couple of comments about your plan. The first thing I wanted to talk about was the recruitment section. I found the recruitment section to be incomplete. It looks as if what you have there is about the third sentence. The first sentence should read, the Olean Police Department is committed to racial and gender diversity. To this end, its recruitment policies will reflect an aggressive effort to proactively seek out female and racial and ethnically diverse candidates and to remove barriers to their hiring. I don't know why it's so hard for people to say racially diverse and gender diverse. We need to get women and we need to get people of color on the police department. That's not difficult. And we need to figure out what the barriers are to having them join and sweep those barriers aside. And I also wanted to say something about the Civilian Review Board. If you folks will open your eyes, you will see that you basically already have a Civilian Review Board within your ranks. Um, I don't know if you've ever heard of a gentleman from Olean. His name is Mickey George. That's the only thing he does. He has devoted his life to police reform. That's what he does. And Ty Malone and Ezra Johnson and Daniel Gayton. These are folks who have taken a proactive reform approach to the city of Olean since before the Reinvention and Reform was born. That's your civilian review board. You've already got it. That's what they do, and they do it well. And they bring expertise, they bring resources, and they've put in the time. They should be thanked for their efforts, because it's very clear to me that the Reform and Reinvention Committee probably wouldn't have happened at all were it not for those folks. So that's my rant, and I very much appreciate your time.
Thank you very much for your comments. We appreciate it. Okay, we have Ezra Johnson. Ezra,
How's it going, everybody?
give us your address, and then you'll have 5 minutes.
All right, 408 West Sullivan Street from the unrepresented Ward 4. So first off, I would like to start off by saying, Mayor, thank you for your time tonight. I want to thank everybody on the committee for their time and efforts for the last few months with doing this, and even changing up their schedule to fit in and to apply more time and effort towards this plan in the reinvention. I'd like to start off by saying I support the civilian review board that Alderman Robinson had proposed to you guys. I've talked to several attorneys, one being a federal attorney that's very prominent in the area. And he said this plan would take Olean a light years ahead of other cities. And the way I'm looking at it, getting into the political realm myself, I think with doing that this way, being a model to other cities would be an asset to Olean. It would have other people looking at Olean like, hey, look at what Olean's doing. We could really have a chance to build our community and our relationships with the police officers. I'm more of a preventative kind of person, and I think what the Civilian Review Board would do would prevent a lot of problems right now, and also hearing a lot of problems, because right now what we have in place doesn't work. I've talked to several people in the community with their issues that they say they have with the police department. It goes back before Chief Richardson was in there. I think Chief Richardson is a great guy. I've had the pleasure of knowing him. My uncle Bob talks very highly of him, and I think that this would be a great opportunity for his officers to have some accountability, kind of like the body cams that you guys wear. It would protect you guys as well as it would the citizens with false complaints. So I think this legislation that Alderman Robinson proposed to you guys would be the best fit for Olean, and that's all I have to say tonight, guys.
Thank you very much for your comments.
Thanks,
Well
Mayor.
appreciated. And okay, we'll wait a while to see if anybody else gets on. So.
Have you been getting
Okay.
feedback from people via email, Mr. Mayor?
I'm sorry?
Have you gotten any feedback from people via email or phone calls, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, I've got a few emails which I will share with the committee here. We've been getting them in, they're coming in slow, but few. Yes, Ezra, you can say what? I'm unmuting you right now. Oop.
I was gonna say, I was just gonna remind you that a lot of people didn't even know this was going on. So to speak on the transparency of this whole thing, I don't even think a lot of the board members knew that it was tonight too. I see a lot of you guys missing. So that could be another issue why there's not a lot of people on here tonight. I was just gonna let you know.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ezra, your hand's back up.
There we go.
Never mind, it's down now, okay. Victoria, did you have another comment?
Yeah, I did. I posted something in the chat and I don't know, the chats are weird, so I don't know if you guys saw it or not. But I did just want to, what I'd said in there basically was, I am all in favor. I looked at both proposals, I read over both proposals, and I was extremely impressed and very pleased with Alderman Robinson's. I cannot remember the name of the gentleman who came up with the other one. But after looking at his, and I'll say briefly because it was extremely brief, it's not anywhere near as thorough, all-encompassing. I didn't feel either like it really grasped the essence of what the Civilian Review Board is for. And I think that reading both of them, Alderman Robinson's it's both comprehensive and in a way it's genuine too. I think he put a lot of time, effort, work, heart, and soul into it. And there was not many places that I could see room for loopholes, legal or otherwise, whereas the other gentleman's, there's a lot of room for fluff and error and loopholes and he said, she said. So I don't know if we're, voting on either one of them or how this works, but I did just want to express my gratitude and just overall, I was very, very, very pleased with Mr. Robinson's, what he came up with. It was very well done. So I did just want to say thank you for that, sir.
Okay, thank you. And your comments are in the chat box. So. Okay, Daniel. Go ahead, Daniel. Daniel, did you want to make another comment? Go ahead. Danny, can you hear me? Well, Danny's got his hand up, but I'm not sure if he's hearing me. Oops. I'm not sure if Danny looks like he's still on, but I don't know if he wanted to talk again or not. Ezra, did you want?
I was just I think Danny's just having technical issues. I think he did want to say something else,
Okay.
but you just can't hear him. But I do want to say one more thing. I do feel if if you guys do get the civilian review board and it's a good civilian review board, the officers do need a raise, and we both need to be held accountable to that. If they agree to something like that, they also need more money, especially for recruitment purposes.
Mhm. Thank you very much. We appreciate your comments. Danny, did you want to talk? Daniel, can you hear me? Yeah, he's got his hand up. I've given him access to talk, but I don't. Is anybody hearing him at all?
No.
I'm not either.
If you can hear us, can you type in the chat?
Yeah, if you can hear us, Daniel, go ahead and type in the chat box. Can you get? Okay. Is everybody seeing that in the chat box? He just wants to say, I just want to say I support a police raise and I support Robinson's plan. Thank you, Danny.
So, Mr. Mayor, is the plan still to meet tomorrow as well?
Yes, yes. Yeah, same time, public comment. And then we will be meeting next Thursday as a group to discuss the comments that we've got. And then it goes to the council for them to approve the plan. They've been sent copies of it. I haven't got any replies from any of them yet. But
Everybody's been pretty busy.
yes, yes.
Is it possible maybe we could get the Zoom link pushed out a little bit earlier tomorrow so that we could do a little advertising, maybe bring in some more people?
Yeah, we'll get it out. I'll get it out earlier in the day. I was tied up most of the day, so I had to got it out, but I'll get it out. I can get it out in the morning if that's better.
That'd be great.
So. There are others in attendance, but they haven't raised their hand to speak. And I don't want to embarrass them, so I won't say anything until they raise their hand. So. So everybody enjoy the sunshine today? Okay, there's a comment in the from Megan Hall to all panelists. I'm not here to speak, just reporting for tapped into Greater Olean. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think we might be all done with the snow. Had to put the old toboggan away this morning.
I hope so. But what's the addis? The March comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb, right? So.
Hope not.
You want more snow?
Yeah, I never get my hopes up. I can remember a couple of Good Friday walk the way of the cross when we walked in blizzarding snow. So,
Yeah.
so I'm with you, Mickey. I would love to put the toboggan away. I'm going to keep it out just for a couple more weeks.
Yeah, Kim, are they doing that again? The way of the cross, are they doing that? Any form of it?
They are, and in fact, some of the plans for it were just being finalized today, but it's going to be done in a, I believe that the tentative plans are to do this over at Mount Zion Church on Front Street in the parking lot and utilizing the radio transmitter so that we will go through the whole walk the way of the cross. We just won't be walking anywhere, but we will have all the different stations and people can drive in, tune into the radio, listen to the music, listen to the readings and reflections, and people can come and go as they need to. Obviously it will be much shorter.
Okay.
But final plans are being worked on, but we're really close. So we will not be walking in a blizzard this year, even if there is a blizzard.
Okay. Sonia McCall has added a comment in the chat box. Thank you for all your work. I believe that Alderman Robinson's plan would benefit Olean greatly. I also believe that we need to look at our police salaries and training budget so that we can attract and retain quality officers. Thank you, Sonia. I thought we would go until at least 7:30. Is that okay with everybody? Okay.
Mayor, do you want to read some of the emails that you've received? If we've got some dead space?
No, I'd rather get them out to all of you.
Okay.
Okay. We've been, I've been printing them out, and Michiko has them in a file, so it'll be easier to just send them all in one file to everybody. There's not a lot. So I get more comments out in public. So
I've gotten the same. A number of people, probably a good dozen or so, have sort of vocally supported the work that we've done while on the committee, and just general support.
yes, the overall comments are that I've received are supportive. Very mixed about whether we need a review board or not. But the overall product that we put out is have been very favorable so far from what I gather in the community. So. One of the things that's favorable to Olean is that under the stimulus package, we're going to receive $1.47 million over 2 payments. It'll be a little over 700,000. As it stands right now, we still have to wait for the, I'm not sure, did the House vote on it today? Does anybody know?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, they did, and they passed it, so.
Passed it, okay.
Right.
Now it goes to the president, goes to the president for his signature.
Mhm.
And upon his signature, the money, the pool of money that we are in, we will be getting, that will go to, it has to, 60 days from the date of signature, it has to go to New York State. Then 30 days from them receiving it, it has to come to us. So now there is restrictions on the money, and that's a little bit unclear right now, just what the restrictions are going to be. We were all hoping that that would be unrestricted funds that we could use, but that's it doesn't sound like that. So we'll have to once we get all of the entire, I guess you could say the entire rules that go by with the money, then that'll be a discussion I have with the Common Council to see what we're going to do there. But it is, you know, it's a nice win for us. Plus, there's many other pools of money they're coming out with too, that we're going to have to take a look at and see what we're eligible for. I think I'm not sure if they changed the what individual the additional $1,400 that individuals are going to get. I'm not sure if they changed the terms on that. What you could make before to get that, but it will help a lot of families in our area because there is money in there for each child under the age of under the age of 17, I believe. So that'll help. That'll help the economy. It'll help the individuals. It'll help the families that are going to be benefiting from this. So it's a good thing that we're getting that. I don't understand some of it because you take a community like Dunkirk is slated to get 14 million, and we're only getting 1.47 million. I just say I haven't read enough to understand that yet. So, but there again, I'm very thankful for that boost that it's going to give to us and to the city of Olean. So I know one thing that I did read so far that it has to, some of the money has to be used to make water and sewer infrastructure, water and sewer and broadband. So we'll analyze it. We'll see what we can use it for, and we'll put it to good use here. So.
Mayor, is the amount that we get from that, is that already like predetermined, or there's some people we can talk to about that?
No, it's done. It's a done deal. It's a formula based on, it's a very complex formula. And it's based on number one, number of people, poverty level. There's a whole bunch of things come into it, whether you're a CBDG community, which is to do with your housing needs and different federal programs you're on and all that. So it's all based. So I tried to get a clear understanding from Senator Schumer's office, and we got a flyer on it, and it talks about all of it. But it's about the formula, and because 2 weeks ago when I got a call from Schumer's office, we had actually $2.5 billion coming. And when I inquired why is the change, and they said there was a technical calculation that was done wrong in the formula. So some communities ended up with nothing. Others communities ended up with more, and others had ended up with less. So, but there again, we're very thankful for what we were able to get.
Yes, sir.
About our community. Okay, we got Sonia's got her hand up. Sonia, go. Sonia, go ahead.
Hi, Mayor Elio and everyone. Actually, it's not regarding, it was really regarding what you were saying in terms of the $1.4 million that was allocated. I just wonder, sometimes I find in writing grants and different things that assessments we make determine what we get in terms of outcomes with dollars. And I'm wondering if there is the opportunity to take and look at the formula that was extrapolated to decide, because definitely level of poverty and that comes into it, to see whether or not the information that we're feeding the system is actually accurate for the population and such that we have now. Just because I think not just now, but down the road what resources might be available to, whether it be grants or other stimulus dollars down the road. So that's my thought in terms of thinking. And because if it looked like we were going to get one amount and then we got something else, is there an opportunity for us to learn from there and just make sure that we're capturing all the challenges our community has?
Yeah. Yeah, it was nothing, this was nothing that we put in for. This is the, under the federal stimulus package through a lot of, across the nation, municipalities and your small towns and villages, and that we're asking for some relief because of the COVID. And this is what they came with. They have all these formulas already for the areas we're in. And that's how it was, it came out. There was a big struggle of how the money was going to be distributed. Was it going to go to the state and then up to the state to distribute it? And one of the big pushes that we had across New York State with the New York State Conference of Mayors, and there's also a side organization, Towns and Villages, or I'm sorry, Towns, that the Towns, New York State Towns, okay, and everybody's push to their legislators was that if stimulus money comes, it has to come directly to the municipalities because, and it's no secret, and even Senator Schumer said it at a meeting we had with him, that if the money were to go to New York State, our governor has a way of slowly or not distributing it at all. So part of that the stimulus bill says that it has to be, that pot of money has to go to the municipalities and the towns and villages. And the way, if you have friends that are in villages, the way that'll work is it'll be based on the towns the money is going to the towns, and the villages will get a portion of that money that's slated for the towns based on the percentage of population that the village has in the town. So that's not even the complicated part of it, but this just shows you it's very complicated, all these formulas and stuff. So it comes out and you can read it and you look at it and you think, okay, how is like in that formula, Salamanca is getting 500,000 over 2 years, or it's that I'm just rounding it, like the town of Olean is getting, I think it was in the area of 400,000. So, and then we're getting 1.47. You look around different cities across the state of similar sizes, and it's confusing, and so they have the formula. I have a question here from Ezra. So we won't have to raise our taxes. That'll be a conversation once we're fully aware what we can use the money for. That'll be a conversation with the aldermen. So.
Is Olean going to be able to get that money for this fiscal year? Or is it also a 2-year rollout, like you mentioned for Salamanca?
Well, I've been looking at that, and depending when the president signs it, let's say, okay, if he signs it tomorrow, all right, then they have to get it to the state within 60 days. So that will be April and May, and then the state has to get it to the municipalities within 30 days. So that puts us into June. So probably not. We won't have it for this fiscal year, because I'm sure that the state will take it right down to the last day. So so we'll see what what they do with that. So, but it's interesting. All of this stuff is very interesting, and you get an education when you start looking at all how the wheels turn, and but you gotta, Senator Schumer did fight very hard for New York State, as did Senator Gillibrand, and as did Tom Reed, and all of the federal officials, for New York State. They fought very hard for the state, and we're lucky to get the package that we did. So. So that's how my, it's been, we got the word back here a few days ago on this. And I let the alderman know about it, and I've just been kind of waiting to see if it was gonna, pass the House. And then now the president has said he will sign the legislation. So did they say maybe tomorrow he would sign it, or does anybody?
Friday.
Friday? Okay. Okay.
I know they're looking to rush it through.
Yeah.
There's a lot riding on it, but I just want to say that's great news. We had a few dips in the numbers recently, so that's welcome news.
Yes, it is. So. Well, everybody, it's 7:29, almost 7:30. I don't see anybody else in attendance. We'll get this out earlier tomorrow to everybody. I'll get it out in the morning, and maybe it'll boost attendance tomorrow night. I think we've had good comments tonight, and we can go from there. So is everybody okay with signing off?
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow night.
Thanks, folks. See you tomorrow.
Have a good night, everyone.